Well, a very good morning, everybody, for Sunday, the 20th of September. Okay, well, we've still got this biting northeasterly wind. It does have sort of a continental track, which means that we are still picking up some warmer temperatures, but certainly this morning under the sort of thicker cloud cover, we are sort of feeling a little bit chilly. But the isobars are starting to widen, and as we go into the rest of the day, the winds are going to lighten off a bit before tomorrow, a reasonably nice day. And a couple of nice days before we start getting some more Atlantic influence, sort of in the middle to later next week, later in the week. But for today, looking at sort of in between low and high pressure, and yeah, it's sort of a noticeable east-northeasterly wind. Those winds at the moment are a little bit more northerly than they will be later. At the moment of flying heights, we're looking at around lunchtime, they should be somewhere in the region of about 060 to 070. Notice the gradient is going sort of the wrong way as such. So just be aware, especially in the morning, I expect there'll be quite a noticeable wind gradient at a number of levels. So when coming in, plenty of approach speed. But starting to veer around to an easterly as the day goes on. But yeah, at the moment, probably northeasterly about 10 knots. Public forecast is showing that too. You can see how it lightens off, goes a little bit more easterly during the day. And yeah, it should be a reasonable afternoon once we get rid of this sort of low level muck that we've got. Though it is clearing through quite nicely at the moment, just be nice to get rid of that wind. Satellite pictures, you could see all that muck that's sort of been coming off sort of coasts and channels and stuff like that, or just orographic. As I said, that will break up, it already is, so it won't be too much of a factor. Visibility might be a little bit poor to start with. Just note as well, given the strength of the wind, you might get some wave interference as well. No promises, but certainly I have seen wave in these conditions before at Lasham, where it sort of mixes things up. The infrareds, well, there's not really any fronts around. So in that region, you've got maybe a little bit of cloud just off the coast higher up, but yeah, if I'm honest, nothing too significant. If you look out the window at the moment, yeah, there's stuff to the south, but nothing too much to the north. Top temperature today, when the sunshine does come out and we do get the full effect of it, it's looking somewhere in the region of around 21, 22 degrees. And that's broadly in line with what we've got here on the public forecast. It's quite warm into France, actually. Also, dew points, they are reasonably high at the moment, but will reduce probably just floating above single figures. At the moment, that's the picture outside. As I can say, you've got bits of high-level clouds that you can see out to the south and just over us here. But generally, the sun's going to win out of this. It's still reasonably strong enough to do that. So yeah, so get a reasonable day. Fortunately, I'm not too sure sort of what's happened to the cross-country season. It's seemingly departed us, I think, as I said maybe a couple of weeks ago. The summer starts in May and finishes late August. It's a bit of a pain. But there will be some local soaring after lunch. You can see we might get to 2,500 feet, maybe 3,000 feet if we're really lucky, late afternoon. But blue, I would say. And cloud distribution is generally, yeah, blue. So yes, and probably a bit mixed up with all of this sort of wind that we've got, though we're reducing. And the site forecast is showing that too. Weak thermals to about 2,500 feet, wind going round from northeasterly round to an easterly and reducing a bit, and not so many gusts. And Farnborough is showing that, can I update? Aha, here we go. Yep, they got few at 1,100 feet now, and as we can see, they've got 0 to 0 at 6 knots, and it varying quite significantly at the moment. Not particularly surprising. So their forecast shows it being a bit more northerly, but that's not quite got the detail that this forecast does. Airspace wise, not really too much to say actually. The usual Solar Farnborough area is active, and any Boscombe weekend things, that's just Middle Wallop claiming they have intense gliding activity. And these just equestrian events, air display at Sywell. But yeah, nothing particularly airspace-wise relevant. Obviously, we are operating with an easterly today, so a reminder to those of you student pilots to use the buffer zone that we talked to you about. It's on the cards to try and keep yourself away from the airspace. You may find that Farnborough do have aircraft in quite tight to the boundaries of the airspace, so don't be surprised. It is quite a tricky part of the airspace area. So yes, we're going to operate 09 today. I saw that you were operating 05 yesterday, and I know that was a bit tricky. I'm hoping that wind will reduce and will cause us less problems than it caused yesterday. 05 is just such a complex operation that if it's all possible, we try and avoid. What that does mean, though, is that we will be operating with a noticeable crosswind, and there will be curl over off the north side trees. So yeah, probably those of you that are a bit inexperienced, it might not be the day that you're going to be flying solo, but for those of you that are flying with us today, you'll get some character building experience regardless, but hopefully later this afternoon it will calm down. No jet movements, as far as I'm aware. They don't work weekends. Nothing else. Got a helicopter coming in very shortly. A member flying in. That's going to land down at the eastern end. And I think that's just about all I've got to say today. If any of you, if the wind is good enough for the South Downs, just come to the runway and we'll launch you. But I expect it's going to come around more easterly as the day goes on. All right. Otherwise, I'll see you in the week. But for now, I'll see you on the airfield. Bye.